Hello students, I am Sachitrakar. Welcome to Cars Physics. This is my lecture 11 on kinematics and we are continuing motion in a straight line. In this lecture, we will discuss motion under gravity. From very beginning, I would like to say you that this lecture is highly interesting, highly applicable and highly conceptual to approach the numericals of different range. Okay, means the numericals applicable for your regular studies as well as for your competitive exams like NEET and JEE, etc. Motion under gravity. What's gravity? Gravity is force of a planet on a body. We are residing on the surface of Earth. Earth attracts everybody onto its surface or towards its surface. That force is called as gravity. Okay, so if this is surface of Earth, okay, and this is a body, suppose a body is released in space, left, then this body will move towards the surface of Earth. Okay, so the force with which the body is attracted towards the surface of Earth is called as force due to gravity. Okay, obviously that force is mg, means force due to gravity nearer to the surface of planet is the product of mass of the body m and acceleration due to gravity. Okay, so obviously acceleration of the body is g. Okay, and we have already taken or we already know the value of g. Okay, the standardized value of g is 9.8 meter per second square in m case or 980 centimeter per second square in cgs or 32 foot per second square in fps. So these are the standard values of g or acceleration due to gravity. Okay, standard value. So where we can get standard value? So we are taking this value 9.8 meter per second square usually, or this value is taken as approximately 10 meter per second square as standard value of acceleration due to gravity. Okay, you are using this usual value of acceleration due to gravity, but practically this value of standard value of acceleration due to gravity we can take at 45 degree latitude and at sea level. We will discuss it in coming subject gravitation. But now we will take value of g 9.8 meter per second square or 10 meter per second square as a standard value. Then what's the direction of acceleration due to gravity? The simple answer. Direction of acceleration due to gravity is towards the center of Earth. Okay, so this direction is in vertically downward direction. See students, this is horizontal line, means parallel to the surface of Earth, and this is vertical line, means perpendicular to the surface of Earth. So acceleration due to gravity is directed in vertically downward direction. Anybody in space has acceleration due to gravity. Anybody in space. Okay, anybody means whatever be the mass of the body, a heavier body or a lighter body, everybody experiences acceleration due to gravity, which is g, or standard value of g is 9.8 meter per second square, or approximately we are taking 10 meter per second square. This is about fundamental idea on acceleration due to gravity. Okay, we are discussing motion of a body under gravity. Okay, motion of a body under gravity. So we will discuss different cases. What I have already discussed. This class is highly applicable class and highly conceptual class. Okay, first case. We will discuss in detail all these cases. Suppose this is a platform or surface of Earth or horizontal surface of Earth. Number one case. we may throw a body in vertically upward direction. Giving some velocity, we may take u or you may take v naught. Okay. A body thrown in vertically upward direction. We'll discuss the complete concept about this case. Okay. Then, second case. A body, suppose this is surface of earth or horizontal surface, a body may be released from a height. Let this height is h. A body may be released from a height. Released. I am holding the body. If I release the body will just fall towards the surface of earth. Actually, the body is fallen. Body is already fallen. Okay. So, if we release the body, means I am holding the body. If I hold a body, then the body is at rest. Means the initial velocity, or when I am holding the body is at rest. Means velocity of the body is 0 or initial velocity of the body is 0. It will move down and finally strike on the surface of earth. Second case. Then about third case. Let's consider this is a building or this is a tower of some height h. Okay. A body may be thrown in vertically upward direction, giving some velocity. So in this case, the body will move up and then it will return back to the surface of earth. Okay. And the general case, fourth case, suppose this is a height or building or a tower of height h, we may throw a body in vertically downward direction, giving some velocity. Okay. We are continuing motion in a straight line. So all these cases are under motion in a straight line. Means in vertically upward direction or in vertically downward direction. Okay. In next chapter, in next lecture, next lecture, we will discuss after completion of motion in a straight line, we will move to motion on a plane. Okay. This is all these types of motion are motion in a straight line. Okay. Let's start. The first case, I am erasing. We will move gradually to all these cases. Okay. A body is thrown in vertically upward direction, giving a velocity u. Let a body is thrown from the surface of earth with an initial velocity, let u, when instantaneous time is 0. Okay. As you have observed, I will not throw my marker pen, it will again fall. Suppose this is a body. Okay. I am holding this body. Let this is surface of earth. This body is thrown in vertically upward direction. I am throwing, giving a small velocity. Okay. Then the body goes to this height and again returns back. Why it returns back? Okay. When the body is thrown in upward direction, then weight of the body acts in vertically downward direction. Due to weight of the body experiences acceleration in downward direction, which is g, or acceleration due to gravity. See students, velocity is given in vertically upward direction and acceleration experienced by the body in vertically downward direction. So initial direction is in upward direction and g is opposite to initial direction. So many times question arises, different books, different assumptions or different conventions. Okay, different teachers, different conventions, but I will share with you the easiest convention. G positive, we will take acceleration due to gravity, positive or negative, whatever we will take. The only convention, Initial direction is taken as positive from very beginning of this subject, means motion in a straight line. I have already discussed. Initial direction is taken as positive by convention. This is the easiest way. Initial direction is always taken as positive. This is convention. Not always. So many books, so many conventions. I do like to take this convention, and I feel this is the easiest convention. Okay. Initial direction is taken as positive, and opposite to initial direction is negative, or vice versa. Initial direction is taken as positive, opposite to initial direction is taken as negative, or vice versa. I am taking the convention initial direction is positive and opposite to initial direction is negative. See, the body is thrown in upward direction. So in this case, our convention is upward direction is positive and opposite to initial direction, means in vertically downward direction is negative. Okay. Now, body is thrown with initial velocity u in upward direction is positive, then acceleration due to gravity or acceleration experienced by the body in opposite direction, means in vertically downward direction. So, vertically downward direction is negative. Initial upward positive, acceleration due to gravity in vertically downward direction is negative. See students, if force acts along the direction of motion, then it is called as accelerated motion. Okay, we have already discussed from very beginning of this subject, body is moving along direction. Okay, if you apply a force along the direction of motion, then obviously velocity of the body will increase, and we do say this is accelerated motion. Okay, suppose body is moving along this direction, I do pull the body in opposite direction, means force is applied in opposite direction. So in this case, velocity will decrease. Okay, direction means velocity, suppose towards left and acceleration towards right, then velocity of the body will go on decreasing, and this is retarded motion. Accelerated motion, positive. Retarded motion, sorry, this is retarded motion. The retarded motion, negative. Okay. A body is thrown in upward direction, then acceleration due to gravity is always in vertically downward direction, means acceleration is opposite to the direction of velocity, initial velocity. So obviously this velocity will go on decreasing. Okay, body moves up. Okay, and this velocity goes on decreasing, and which decreases, obviously this will approach zero value. Okay, suppose this is the position where final velocity becomes zero due to effect of gravity. Okay, so at this position, the body will come momentarily rest. Body will come to rest just for a moment, which can't be observed. Okay, again, the body will come back, return back from this position. Okay, so why the body comes back? Body is thrown with upward velocity u, acceleration due to gravity opposite to initial velocity, motion is retarded. In retarded motion, velocity decreases, and finally velocity becomes zero. But this is the highest position. Let total height reached by the body is h. H is maximum vertical height. But at this position, at the highest position, though velocity is zero, but acceleration is not zero. Okay, velocity zero, but acceleration is not zero. Anybody in space has acceleration due to gravity. Okay, anybody in space experiences a force in vertically downward direction. Okay, so at highest position, though velocity is 0, but here acceleration is present, that is acceleration due to gravity. So at highest point velocity is 0, so body will return back from highest position due to effect of gravity. So when it returns from highest position, so initial velocity becomes 0 because the body starts from rest from highest position, and due to effect of gravity now motion is accelerated. What we have already discussed. If a body is released, I am holding the body, if I release the body, then the initial velocity of the body is 0 and acceleration due to gravity in vertically downward direction, obviously velocity will go on decreasing in downward direction. So body will come back and finally the body strikes on the ground or on the surface with a velocity v. We will analyze total concept. Okay. Body starts from this position when instantaneous time is 0. Body strikes on the ground when time is t. Our first heading is time of flight. Time of flight. T means total time of motion of the body. Body leaves the surface when time is 0. Again body returns back and strikes the surface when time is t. Thus total time is t minus 0 is t. T is time of flight. Then what do we mean by time of flight? Time of flight is the time during which the body remains in space. The body flies in space and again comes back to the initial position. Okay, we have to find first what is expression for time of flight. Let maximum height reached by the body is h. Okay, body starts from this position and again returns back to the same position, moves along this line and returns back along the same line. It is seen as double line, but actually body moves along this line and returns back along the same line and moves from A and again strikes at A. Okay, then what is displacement of the body during this whole time t, during whole time of journey t? Body starts from A, let reaches at position B and returns from B, again reaches at, finally reaches at A. What's displacement? Displacement is the shortest path directed from initial to final position. A is initial position. Again the body returns back to A. A is final position. A is initial position. A is final position. So shortest path between A and A is 0. So during time of flight, vertical displacement of the body is 0. Now we will use kinematics equations, motion in a straight line. Our general equation S is equal to ut, or you may take v naught t. I have taken ut plus half at square. S is displacement for total time, means for whole time of flight displacement is 0. U is initial velocity in upward direction. Initial direction is positive, so you do take U as positive. T is whole time, means time of flight t, plus half A. U is initial velocity in upward direction, but G in vertically downward direction. G is opposite. Initial direction is positive, U is positive, G is opposite to initial direction, so G is negative, and t square means square of time of flight. So half gt square is equal to ut. Square t get cancelled, then time of flight is 2u divided by g. This is about time of flight if a body is thrown from the surface of earth to a certain height h. Okay, so this is time of flight. Then body moves from A, reaches at B. First it moves upward, then returns from B, again comes back to A. This is downward motion. Okay, acceleration due to gravity always in vertical downward. So body starts moving from A when instantaneous time is 0, reaches at B, let time is t1. Means time taken by the body to move from A to B is t1. This time is called as time of ascent. Time of ascent. So what's time of ascent? Time taken by the body to reach the highest position is called as time of ascent. So T1 is time of ascent, means T1 is time taken by the body to move from position A to highest position B. Okay. So at highest position B, if we consider motion in upward direction or ascent, moving upward, initial velocity is u. Initial velocity is u and final velocity is 0 and time taken by the body is T1. Now we will use kinematic equation V is equal to u plus at. So if we consider time of ascent, then final velocity is 0, V is 0. Initial velocity is u, it's positive, plus A. Initial velocity upward, G in downward. So in place of acceleration, we will take minus G, and time of ascent means to reach at B starting from A is T1. Then GT1 is equal to U, and this implies time of ascent T1 is equal to U by G. See students, to move from initial position A to final position B, time of ascent T1, which is equals to U by G, but total time is 2U by G. Total time means again the body returns back from position B and reaches at A. This time is to reach at position A starting from position B in downward direction. Let this time is T2. Then I am writing here time of descent T2. Time of descent is time taken by the body to return back from highest position to initial position, means from B to A. See, total time is 2U by G, means time taken by the body to move from A to reach at B and again to return back from B to A to B, B to A. Total time is 2U by G, means total time is T, which is equals to time of ascent plus time of descent. So total time is 2U by G, time of ascent is T1, T1 is U by G, then time of descent is U, T2, means here T2 is equal to 2U by G minus U by G is equal to U by G. So what we have proved? Time of ascent T1 is U by G. Again, time of descent T2 is U by G. So when it happens, if air resistance means opposition due to air, if a body moves in air medium, then friction due to air opposes its motion. If the body moves upward, friction due to air opposes the body, its upward motion. If the body moves downward, friction due to air opposes its downward motion. If air resistance is neglected, I am writing here this result, time of flight T, that's equals to 2U by G. Time of flight is 2U by G. Okay. Now, about time of ascent and time of descent, very important. If opposition due to air or air resistance is neglected, then time of ascent is equal to time of descent, means T1 is equal to T2 is equal to A by G. If air resistance is neglected, then time of ascent is equal to time of descent. Very important. Okay. Suppose air resistance is considered. Air opposition is present. Of course, air resistance is always present. But in this case, we have neglected the presence of air or opposition due to air. Very important. If air resistance is considered, if air resistance is considered, what will be relation between time of ascent and time of descent? Let's see it. Okay, let's see it first. Suppose a body is moving in upward direction. Okay, then what are the forces acting on the body? Let mass of the body is m, then weight of the body pulls it in motion in upward direction. Then weight of the body acts in vertically downward direction, as we have discussed. If a body moves upward, then air resistance or opposition due to air acts in vertically downward direction, means opposite to the direction of motion. Let this is opposition due to air, force or opposition force due to air. Let this is MA, means retardation during upward motion, air opposes the motion. So force on the body in downward direction due to opposition of air is MA. Okay. Then resulting acceleration in downward direction is G plus A. Total force in downward direction mg plus ma. Okay. Then acceleration is mg plus ma divided by mass. Total force in downward direction mg plus ma. Then resultant force in downward direction, let ma dash, then a dash is equal to g plus a. Okay. Suppose a body moves in downward direction, motion in downward direction, then obviously weight of the body acts in downward direction mg, and opposition due to air acts in upward direction. Let it again ma, mass of the body is m. In this case, resultant force in downward direction is ma dash, downward force mg minus upward force ma. Since both are oppositely directed and body is moving down, so resultant force must be in downward direction. Now acceleration is g minus a. In downward motion, acceleration is g plus a. In upward motion, resulting acceleration is g plus a. Body moving upward, but total force in downward direction. So this is retardation. Body is in downward motion, total force in downward motion is g minus a. But time is u by g, time of ascent. This is ascent. Body moving upward, time is t1. In this case, time will be u divided by g plus a. This is downward motion, means descent. Here time, let t2, in this case t2 will be u divided by resulting acceleration is g minus a. See, g minus a is less than that of g plus a. So which one is more? So since g plus a is greater, so finally we may write t1 is less than t2. This is smaller, g minus a, this is greater, G plus A. So T1 less than T2. So if air resistance is considered, our final answer is, if air resistance is considered, then time of ascent. Time of ascent is less. T1 is time of ascent. Time of ascent is less than time of descent. Very important. If air resistance is neglected, then time of ascent is equal to time of descent. If air resistance is considered, then time of ascent is less than time of descent. Okay. So this is about time. Okay. I am erasing all these things. We have got our summarization. Okay. The next point arises. All these points about time. Time of flight, time of ascent, time of descent. Then next point, maximum height. Expression for maximum height. See students, body is thrown from point A, from ground, and reaches at position B. So total height attained by the body is h. Then we have to find what is maximum height attained by the body. See, considering upward motion. Okay. Considering upward motion and using the equation v square is equal to u square plus 2s. Considering upward motion. In upward motion, initial velocity is u when it is thrown from position A, and final position is B, where final velocity is 0 and initial velocity when it is thrown from point A is u. So in place of B, we may write 0, final velocity 0 in upward motion, initial velocity is u square plus 2. See students, body is thrown in upward direction and acceleration due to gravity in vertically downward direction. So initial direction positive, acceleration due to gravity in opposite direction. So minus g, and displacement is h. So 2gh is equal to u square by 2g. Sorry, h is equal to u square by 2g. 2gh is equal to u square and h is equal to u square by 2g. See students, maximum height attained by the body directly proportional to square of initial velocity. More the initial velocity, more is the height attained by the body. Okay. Thus maximum height attained by the body directly depends upon the initial velocity, or mathematically maximum height directly proportional to square of initial velocity. Okay. Yes students, in this lecture we will discuss only the concepts and applications of these concepts. I will discuss in next lecture. All points what we are discussing in this lecture, I will approach numericals using all these points. Okay, just wait and perceive this lecture and practice all these theories and understand it and finally grab it. We'll apply all these concepts in next lecture, all the concepts. Okay, starting from fundamental or basic numericals to application numericals. Okay, next. So this is the first case. A body thrown in vertically upward direction also. Another point you will get from it, h is equal to u square by 2g. So u is equal to square root of 2gh. Sometimes, very fundamental question, oral question. With what velocity should a body thrown in upward direction so as to attain a height of let 10 meter? Let. Then we have got h, then you can calculate u. U is equal to square root of 2gh. Put the value of g, put the value of h, and get your initial velocity with which a body may be thrown in upward direction to reach a required height h. Okay, so this is first theory. I think you have taken your screenshot. Okay, next case. Next case. So what's the next case? Next case, let a body is dropped. This will be very easier discussion. Let a body is dropped from the top of a tower or from the top of a building. Let height of tower or height of building is h. Let a body is dropped from the top of a building of height h. Body is dropped or a body is released. The same thing. Body is dropped. I am holding the body. I will release the body. The body will drop. I will not release. Again the pen will go to ground. If the body is dropped, then obviously initial velocity is 0. Again, acceleration is in downward direction. See, body is released. Body will start moving in downward direction, not in upward direction. If I am holding a body and I will release the body, will the body move up? No, body will move down. So initial direction is in vertically downward direction. Also g is in vertically downward direction. And finally, this will be an accelerated motion when the body moves down. In a previous case, when the body was moving in upward direction, motion was retarded. At highest point, velocity is 0. Okay. And when the body moves from top towards the ground, motion is accelerated. I think we have discussed all these things. Body is thrown from this point with a velocity u, goes on moving. Okay, and this is the highest position h, and here velocity is 0, and again the body returns from highest position. Initial velocity is 0. Time of ascent is equal to time of descent. Total time t is equal to t1 plus t2. Of course, if you take any intermediate point, suppose these are two intermediate points, this position A, this position B, body will move. This is not B, this is also A. Body moves along this line and returns along this line. So body will pass through this point. These are two same points. I am showing by two straight lines, but actually body moves along straight line and again returns back along the same straight line. Okay, so body will pass through this point twice. Okay, so here also, if you take this time from O to A, time is TA, then from B to O also, or from A to O, again from A to O, time is T, same time. TA is equal to TB. Of course, another thing I have forgotten, if a body is projected with a velocity or thrown with a velocity u, body will again strike on the ground with a velocity v, then magnitude of initial velocity or velocity of thrown with which the body is thrown is equal to velocity of striking. All these concepts are valid if air resistance is neglected. I am writing another sentence before discussing this. This is very important. You should remember it. If air resistance is neglected, if air resistance is neglected, first point, time of ascent is equal to time of descent. Number 2, velocity of projection with which the body is projected or with which the body is thrown in upward direction, that is velocity of projection, is equal to magnitude of velocity of projection is equal to magnitude of velocity of striking. Body is projected with a velocity u, reaches at this position and again returns back from this position and strikes with velocity v, then magnitude of u is equal to magnitude of v. Of course, they are opposite in direction, upward and downward. They are opposite in direction in vector form. You may write u is equal to minus v. Okay, these are the concept. And our second case, okay, a body is dropped from a height. Initial velocity is 0, acceleration is g, and finally the body strikes at this position ground. Let this velocity is v, and time of descent in this case let t. Here there is no time of ascent, okay, but it will only move in downward direction. Okay, this is very easier case. Okay, then what is time taken by the body? Obviously, you may put or you may use the equation h. Displacement of the body is h. H is equal to, you may use the equation s is equal to ut plus half at square. Here, body starts from A, reaches at B, then vertical displacement is h, then initial velocity u is 0 plus half, acceleration is g, positive because initial direction is positive, half gt square, t is equal to square root of 2h by g. Okay, next, what is the velocity of striking? Again you can use the equation v is equal to u plus at. Here final velocity is v0, initial velocity is final velocity is v, initial velocity u is 0, body moves downward direction is initial g, time is t, then t is equal to, see the previous formula returns. Okay, here striking velocity is v, there also striking velocity was v, but in that case initial velocity u is equal to magnitude of velocity of striking is v, and time of descent was u by g, time of ascent also u by g or v by g. Here the same answer again comes. Okay, then from this, if time of descent is given, from this you can calculate height, squaring both sides, t square is equal to 2h by g, and this implies h is equal to half gt square. Okay, s is equal to ut plus half at square, h is equal to half gt square. You have got it. Okay, so there is nothing more in this case. Okay, if a body is just dropped from a height. Okay, then third case, this is a part of previous case. In previous case there was ascent and descent, this is only descent, a part of previous discussion. Next, third case, this is very important discussion. Okay, let's consider this is a building or a tower of height h. Let a body is thrown in vertically upward direction from the top of a tower with a velocity u. See students, here initial velocity is u, initial direction is upward, means in vertically upward direction. So when the body is projected in upward direction, acceleration due to gravity will oppose its motion, because velocity and acceleration in opposite direction. Okay, so the motion will be retarded, body will move up with decreasing velocity, means with retarded motion. Let at this position, final velocity of the body becomes 0. So again the body returns back from this position with initial velocity 0. Okay, as we have discussed, at highest position though velocity is 0 but acceleration is not 0. So body will again return back from this position and finally it will strike on the ground, let with final velocity v. Let height above the tower is h. Height of the tower is capital H and height above the top of the tower to which the body rises is small h. Okay, this is the data which are given or may be given in our question or numerical. We'll solve different forms. Okay, first let's find time of flight. Okay, when the body is thrown from this position, let instantaneous time is 0, body moves up and again strikes the level ground or horizontal surface, let time is t, then total time of flight is t, during which at t0 the body leaves the contact and during whole time t the body is in space and when time is t the body strikes on the ground. We have to find time of flight. This is very easy, but we have to apply our convention. Initial direction is positive. Initial direction is upward. G is in downward direction. So the body starts from top of the tower A and reaches on ground. Let position is B. This is initial position. This is final position. So in this case, vertical displacement is h. From position A to position B, vertical displacement is h, means straight in vertically downward direction displacement is h, and direction vertical displacement is h from A to B and direction of vertical displacement is in downward direction. Now we will use the equation AC is equal to ut plus half at square. Here vertical displacement is h, initial direction in upward direction, initial direction is positive. Direction vertical displacement is in downward direction. If upward direction is positive, then downward direction is negative. Then in place of h we will write h, but this is in downward direction as per convention. Initial direction positive, opposite to initial direction is a negative. So in place of s we do take minus h. U in upward direction is positive, upward direction is initial, so we may take plus u, and total time is t. Okay, plus half. Acceleration in downward direction, acceleration due to gravity in downward direction, upward direction positive, acceleration due to gravity in downward direction, so we will take minus g into t square. So minus h is equal to ut, sorry, this is capital T, minus half gt square, or you may simplify it by multiplying negative sign on both sides. So I am giving up to this. Okay, so here the values of u and h may be given and you have to calculate for t. See, t and t square, the equation is in quadratic form. Now you will solve for t. I am giving only you tips. In next lecture we will solve the numerical. Solve for t. Let, using this quadratic equation we got t. Two values of t. Let we got t is equal to a and another answer is b. We got two answers of A and B. So we will finalize the answer A or B, which is more. This is your trick. Solve for t by using this quadratic equation. U, H are given. We know value of G The only unknowns is unknowns. Unknown is t, but the equation is quadratic, t and t square. Then solve for t. We will get two values of t. Let one value is a, other value is b. We will consider that value which is more y. Body is not directly comes from a to b. From a, body has moved upward, then the body returns in downward direction. Thus, which one is more, we will consider that is the time of flight t. Okay. If you want to know what is maximum height, means we have to measure this small h also, because this capital H is given, then we have to calculate h. Take it fast. Take it fast. This is very important, and also using this equation already questions have appeared in several competitive exams, even in JEE. Okay, just take it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Then what is maximum height? Height is always measured from the level ground. This height capital H is given, only we have to calculate h. Then to calculate this height, what we will do? U is given, final velocity 0, only consider this much of distance. So use the equation, v square is equal to u square plus 2s, upward direction is positive. And from position A, let this position is C, from position A to C, final velocity V is 0, u square plus 2, g is in downward direction, u in upward direction positive, g in downward direction negative, s means here vertical displacement is h, then 2g h is equal to u square, h is equal to u square by 2g, then total height. Total height attained by the body is h plus h, means h plus u square by 2g. This is your answer. Okay. Then it may be asked, what is the velocity of striking? With what velocity the body strikes on the surface? If you get this value, from this height the body again comes back to the surface. So considering the motion from C to B, from C to B. See, at position C, initial velocity is 0. From C to B, total displacement is h plus h. Then using this equation, v square is equal to u square plus 2s. V is final velocity, v square. At position C, initial velocity is 0 plus 2, g is in downward direction. Okay, g is in downward direction, but if you consider motion from C to B, downward direction is initial direction, means positive. Only we are considering from C to B. I am taking this is in separate part from C to B. If you consider the motion is only from C to B, now motion is in downward direction. 2, in place of A, we can write g. Total displacement is h plus h, then v is equal to square root of 2g into h plus h. Okay, this is velocity of striking. If you consider the motion from C to B, don't get confused. Even we can consider a part of journey. Initial direction is positive. From C to B, we are considering a part of journey. From C to B, the body is released from C and moves downward. G is in downward direction, so G is positive. Okay, so this is about motion under gravity if a body thrown from the top of a tower. We'll use all these concepts to solve numericals in lecture 12. Okay, next. Another concept which will be applicable for motion under gravity, but here we are continuing kinematics. Of course, I have made only some lectures on kinematics for you, but thereafter we will go through different subject, mechanics of solid, mechanics of fluid. Okay, there also another application of motion. We will discuss it later. Now, motion on inclined plane. Here also there will be effect of gravity. See students, I am showing you an example. Suppose this is horizontal surface. See, this is horizontal surface, means parallel to the surface of earth. Okay, this surface is parallel to the surface of earth. This is parallel to the surface of earth. Okay, if you place a surface like this, this is a surface. See, this is horizontal, parallel to surface, but this surface makes an angle with this surface. So this surface which makes an angle with horizontal is an inclined plane. This is an inclined plane. Then motion on inclined plane. Okay, very important. See, this is horizontal surface, means parallel to surface of earth. This is a surface which makes an angle theta with horizontal. This is inclined surface, inclined plane. This is horizontal surface or horizontal plane. Theta is angle of inclination. Okay, suppose this inclined plane is of height h. Okay, length of this inclined plane, let s. Let a body starts from the top of the inclined plane. The body is released from the top of an inclined plane. Okay, when a body released, then its initial velocity is 0. The body will finally reach at the bottom of the inclined plane. When it reaches at the bottom, let final velocity is v. When it is released, let instantaneous time is 0. When it reaches the bottom, let time is t. We have to find all these unknowns only. We are given theta, angle of inclination, and height, or s, length along the inclined plane or height of the inclined plane. Okay, see students, this is rough diagram. Let this angle is theta. Let's consider this is a body of mass m on the inclined plane. Weight of a body always acts in vertically downward direction. This is weight of the body. Vertically downward direction means perpendicular to the surface of earth. Okay. Then surface gives reaction. Weight is a force. Force is exerted on this surface, so this surface will give reaction. The reaction given by the surface is R. R is called as, or you may take N also, R or N. This is called as normal reaction. Means this reaction is always perpendicular to the surface. Okay. So if this angle is theta, then this angle is theta. Why? Because mg is perpendicular to this horizontal surface, normal reaction is perpendicular to the inclined surface. Angle between two surfaces is theta, so angle between two perpendiculars is also theta. Now resolve mg. Along this direction, theta is aligned with this line. Component of mg along this direction is mg cos theta, and another rectangular component is mg sin theta. Okay. In this case, there will be no motion perpendicular to the plane. When a body is released, can you have observed the body moves like this? No. So here the upward force and downward force mg sin theta balance each other, means r plus mg cos theta is equal to 0, means magnitude of normal reaction must be equals to magnitude of mg cos theta. So these two forces balance each other. Only force acts on the body is mg sin theta. If force is mg sin theta, then acceleration is force by mass, means g sin theta. So on this body, downward acceleration will be the component of acceleration due to gravity, which is g sin theta. Okay. Acceleration due to gravity, or if we are taking only g, vertically downward direction, this is g cos theta, this is g sin theta. Okay. Thus the component of acceleration due to gravity acts in downward direction, means parallel to the plane. I am erasing this. We will find the equations. Okay. Then time taken by the body to reach the bottom of the plane. See, we are considering this length through which the body travels from the top of the plane to bottom of the plane, using the equation AC is equal to ut plus half at square. Motion is in downward direction, initial direction is downward, displacement is in downward direction, acceleration also in downward direction. So AC is equal to u, initial velocity is 0 plus half. In place of a, we can write g sin theta. Time taken is t, from 0 to t square. Then solving it, we will get t is equal to root of 2s by g sin theta. If it is asked what is final velocity, then use another equation, v square is equal to, of course this equation may be changed. Suppose s is not given, length of this plane is not given, but height of the plane is given. Okay. Then we will turn this equation in terms of height. Okay. See, this angle is a 90 degree. This is height, this angle is a 90 degree, this is a right angle triangle. Then in this triangle, sin theta is equal to h by s, perpendicular, divided by hypotenuse. Perpendicular is h, hypotenuse is s, then s is equal to h by sin theta. Then put here t is equal to square root of 2. In place of s, we can write h by sin theta divided by g sin theta. Okay. Now solving it, this implies t is equal to square root of 2h by g into sin square theta, and our final answer is 1 by sin theta into square root of. Okay. These are two formula. For time, if s is given, length of inclined plane is given, you may use this equation. If height is given, you may use this equation. Then for final velocity, v square is equal to u square, u is 0 plus 2as. Then v is equal to square root of 2as. Here a is g sin theta into s. So v is equal to root of 2gs sin theta, or if you use this one here, v is equal to square root of 2g sin theta into s. In place of s, we can write h by sin theta. Then v is equal to square root of 2gh. These are two formula for final velocity. Okay. Then another concept, final concept about vertical motion. Okay. Suppose a body is thrown from a height in downward direction. Okay. Let's consider this is a tower or this is a building of height h. Now a body is thrown in downward direction, not released. If the body is released then initial velocity is 0. If a body is thrown in downward direction, then we do give a velocity in downward direction. Again, acceleration due to gravity is g, which is also in downward direction. Let the body thrown when instantaneous time is 0, the body strikes on the ground with final velocity v, and time taken by the body to reach the bottom of the tower or building is t. Okay, then time of flight is t. Okay, then what's time of flight? See, height is given h, then we will use the equation s is equal to ut plus half at square. When the body is released from A and reaches at B, then vertical height is h. H is in downward direction. Initial direction of motion is downward, so h is positive. U is positive. U, time is t plus half. Acceleration is also in downward direction, g into t square. If u and h are given, then again using this quadratic equation, because value of g is given, let's take it t, total time t, then we can solve for t. Okay, this is easier, but it just starts from A and reaches at B, so the smaller time may be taken to our consideration. Then final velocity v square is equal to u square plus 2as. V square is equal to initial velocity is u square plus 2. In place of a, we will write g and h. Now we can calculate v. This is simplest. Okay, so this is about fundamental discussion on motion under gravity. Then another tough concept point, what I was discussing with you, motion in a fluid, liquid medium. Of course, we are considering non-viscous medium. This will be clarified completely when you will complete fluid, means mechanics of fluid. Okay, but for competitive point of view, for NEET or JEE, from beginning you should know it. Okay, I am writing motion in a non-viscous fluid. Non-viscous fluid. When a body moves in a fluid, maybe gaseous medium, maybe liquid medium, there must be friction due to fluid. Okay, fluid friction. If you swim in water, then water opposes you due to friction against your body. Okay, so non-viscous. Of course, there is no such medium which is free from viscous force or viscosity. Okay, we are considering non-viscous fluid, means friction is absent. Okay, I think from your fundamental standard, pre-standard, you have heard about upthrust or force of buoyancy. You have heard it. Okay, just let's take some example. Suppose you just jump to a swimming pool. Okay, then have you observed? If you jump and go inside the water, you feel as if someone is lifting you or pushing you in upward direction. That force is viscous force. That force is upthrust or force of buoyancy or buoyant force. Okay. What is formula for force or upthrust? Thrust is force due to fluid. Formula for upthrust is density. I am taking liquid medium, density of liquid into volume of displaced liquid into acceleration due to gravity. Okay. Two concept of thrust. Then another point is weight of a body. Weight of a body is mg, but we know weight of a body, mass is density of material of the body into volume of the body into acceleration due to gravity. You should first have an idea about these two forces of thrust, means force due to the liquid and force due to weight of the body. Okay, now we'll discuss motion of a body inside a non-viscous fluid, means frictionless fluid. Only we will consider the force of buoyancy or buoyant force or of thrust. See, this is a liquid. Maybe water, maybe oil, maybe any liquid. Suppose a body is moving in downward direction, motion in downward direction. Okay. Mass of the body is, I am taking the symbols rho b, density of material of the body. Rho L is the density of liquid. Okay. Rho B is the density of material of body and rho L is the density of liquid. Let this body is moving inside a liquid in downward direction. Then how many forces are acting on this body? Weight of the body, mg. Acting in downward direction, and force due to liquid means force of buoyancy, means of thrust. Let of thrust is F, acting in upward direction, and since the body is moving in downward direction, this is direction of resultant force. Here you will find an expression for resulting acceleration in downward direction. If resultant force in downward direction, let's take resultant force is mass into acceleration. Here let's take acceleration, resulting acceleration is g dash. Then resultant force mg dash is equal to downward force mg minus upward force, means of thrust. Mass of the body, density of body into volume of body, which is mass of the body, into effective acceleration in downward direction. Again, this is weight of the body mg, density of body into volume of the body into g. See, force of buoyancy or of thrust is density of body. Okay, resultant force, density of body into volume of body, mass into effective acceleration in downward direction g dash. Mass of the body, density of body into volume of body into g, minus of thrust. Of thrust is the density of liquid into volume of displaced liquid. See, inside this liquid, the body is fully immersed. Inside the liquid, the body is fully immersed. Okay. Then volume of the body is equal to volume of displaced liquid. See, this is a body outside the liquid. Its volume is V. If I insert this inside the liquid, it is completely inserted in the liquid, then it displaces equal volume of liquid as that of volume of the body. Then here, upthrust is density of liquid into volume of displaced liquid, which is equals to volume of the body into acceleration due to gravity g. Then V get cancelled. Then resulting acceleration in downward direction, rho bg minus rho lg divided by rho b, and solving it we will get effective acceleration in downward direction is 1 minus rho l by rho b into g. This formula will help you to solve different range of numericals in this subject, means in kinematics subject, in laws of motion, Newton's laws of motion, and in oscillatory and vibratory motion, okay, and also in 12 studies in electricity, okay. So this formula is highly conceptual, highly important, and you will find its large scale use, okay. So this is about theoretical discussion about some concepts, some tips and some tricks related to motion under gravity, okay. This is lecture number 11. This is the end of lecture 11, and again I commit you in lecture 12 I will approach numericals taking all the concepts together, okay. Thank you, my dear students. Thank you for your great support. Thanks.